Hey, what's up, guys? It is your friendly neighborhood Yu-Gi-Oh! Superhero Ben 10,000 of YGO, and today we have the lovely.
Hey everybody, I'm Tracy. I am a Yu-Gi-Oh streamer. I kind of just started doing YouTube and I'm really just kind of obsessed with Yu-Gi-Oh and cosplay and anything Yu-Gi-Oh.
Awesome.
Is that good? I've never introduced myself on someone else's
No, that was
before.
great. That was great. I imagine that the audience is like, yes. So, Tracy, I guess the first in question is, what got you into Yu-Gi-Oh?
I don't know. I think I've just kind of always been into I don't know, I guess you would say boy stuff. I have a little brother, so we were really close in age, so we just did everything together. So we were always watching like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh and like all the anime shows. We've been playing video games since we were like 5 or 6. And then I don't know what it was about Yu-Gi-Oh! It was just so much fun. And then it became a trading card game. And luckily my mom was like really supportive,
Mm-hmm.
probably because she's like at least they're at home playing Yu-Gi-Oh and they're not out doing whatever.
Right? They're not out getting into trouble with like drugs and stuff.
Yeah, no, we caused trouble in other ways, but nothing like that.
I did it in my romantic relationships. uh, but it's Speaking of that, I think I saw somewhere that you have a romantic partner, correct?
Yeah, Beardicus. He, you, I don't know. He's always on my streams, and he's always commenting on the videos, and uh, he's just everywhere commenting on my stuff. So yeah, it's not like we're hiding it, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Some people don't really talk about that online if you're a girl. I don't
Oh,
know, but
okay.
right,
Yeah, I know. I'm
yeah.
sure all the single guys in my audience are like, "No, Tracy's not. Is not. Oh God, she's not on the market."
Yeah, he actually proposed to me while I was streaming. Like, we were doing a box opening stream together. I had no idea he was gonna do it. So when he did it, I'm just and I would just look like a complete idiot.
Nah, I bet it was adorable.
That's what everyone says, but I'm just self conscious about everything. So I'm like, oh my god. But it was an experience.
There you go. Well, it sounds to me like he knew the exact right time to do it, if you ask me. But
I should have known. I really should have known because he never ever wants to be on my streams with me.
hmm
And that day I was like, I don't really know. I don't think I want to stream. He's like, what? But everybody wants to see me. I'm like, okay, I guess so. I think my dad was going to stream because sometimes I have my dad on my stream, like, because he's
hmm
old and it's funny.
hmm
But I think he was supposed to be there and he wasn't going to be there. So that was another reason I'm like, And I should have known something was up because Beardicus was just like, no, 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 you got to do it.
I think it's a cute story. Um, I was gonna say is all like so you're engaged now. Do you guys have a marriage date set, or are you guys kind of a little bit in limbo, like I imagine most married couples or soon to be married couples are with the whole crush card virus?
Yeah, yeah. We actually are getting married October 8th, like in 2 months. But we weren't sure what was going to happen because it was what, like April or whatever, and we're like, is
hmm
our venue going to cancel it? There was no places to go to like try on dresses or do the cake or do anything. So
hmm
we're just like rushing in these last 2 months to get everything done. But so far so good. We're gonna have it. We might just have to have like the tables more spread out, but I think it'll be okay.
Yeah, that's a hey. Everybody's finding workarounds to do to do stuff. I mean, and I know the mask helps. I know
Yeah.
that. And I imagine for you, it's probably frustrating because you're in one of the hotspot states.
Yeah, it's been very interesting being in Florida. Like you see some of the headlines and you're like, no, that can't be real, but it's very, very, very real. There's a lot of not so smart people around here. So you just learn to deal with it, I guess.
If it makes you feel any better, I live in Texas, And Texas may not have a reputation for doing the stupid, but there's plenty. I promise you, there's plenty. It just doesn't make the newspapers.
Yeah, yeah, Florida kind of overshadows it, I guess.
I guess. I honestly though, I see there's crazy stuff that happens here too. It's just I don't know. Maybe the news is like, no, no, if it doesn't involve a gun, nobody cares.
We actually had hashtags trending about our state and about our governor. So it was like Ron DeSantis kills Floridians or Ron DeSantis kills Florida for Trump and like the dumbest hashtags cuz he wasn't really like doing anything. Like as soon as he could open us back up, he was like, "All right, everything's back to normal." When it probably shouldn't have been.
Yeah. So yeah, the virus did it, but they're solely blaming the politician, right?
Well, I don't want to say too much, but it just kind of seems like they're about money because we're a tourism state, so they just want people coming and like putting money into the economy, which is smart, which is what you need, but you also need to not hurt people and get people sick. So,
Yeah. Need
I don't
some
know.
safety guidelines in there
Yeah.
at the very least. So you're also into. I'm gonna bring it back to something a little more fun to talk about. So you're also into cosplay. So what all do you cosplay as, or do you only do Yu-Gi-Oh characters? Do you have like characters from other franchises?
Yeah, I've been cosplaying. Oh my God. I was actually thinking about that today because I'm like, what is the very first cosplay that I've ever done? And I was in college and it was Claire Redfield from Resident
Oh,
Evil.
okay. I had to think
And
about that. I was like, which I know that character. I just couldn't remember the franchise.
And it was like stressful making it, but like when it was all done, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm so proud of myself. And then I just really liked that feeling, so I kept doing it. But I cosplay different characters. I've cosplayed a lot, so I don't really know every single one I've cosplayed, but I've done her. Sailor Moon, obviously, probably a couple of times.
Hmm.
I was Emma Frost and Deadpool, but like the girl version of Deadpool,
Right.
Lady Deadpool, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. That was I was Serena and Persephone was Fennekin, which was really cute. I think that was one of my favorite cosplays that we've done. And well, you've seen the Yu-Gi-Oh ones that I've done. I've done Kaiba, I've done Pegasus, I did Diane Keto, but the e-girl version, obviously. And I kind of want to do Yami because he's like the last one I really haven't done from like the OG series.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm also right now working on Gon and Killua and Hisoka from Hunter x Hunter because I'm so obsessed with that show right now. So
That'd be
I
fun.
just yeah, I got all the materials for that this weekend actually. And I gender bend a lot. So if it's a boy character, I turn it into a girl. I don't know. It's just fun for me.
I'm not. You're not gonna hear me judging you. I'll tell you that much. I when I was in high school, I seriously thought about doing like a gender bend of Rogue from the X-Men.
Oh, that would be kind of cool though. It
Yeah,
wouldn't
cuz
be too hard to do.
yeah, it wouldn't be. You just need a green costume and like at the time I think in the comic book she wore a trench coat, which I have one. So I was like,
Mm,
"Okay, cool. Just put some white in my one spot of my hair, wear some green, put on my trench coat, boom, done. You got male Rogue."
yeah. I kind of always wanted to do like a gender bent Wesker. I thought of that because you talked about the coat, and I think that would be so cool. But like, I just haven't found a coat, and I don't want to make one because that's such a pain in the butt to sew a whole trench coat.
Oh yeah. I got lucky and got one at a garage sale for $5.
Mm,
Yeah, the trench coat that I think I've worn it a few times in some of my skit portions of my videos. It's this long black trench coat, and I got it at a garage sale. It's an old army trench coat, so
mm,
and
that's cool.
yeah, so I got lucky in that aspect. Sometimes there's funny places where you can find props. Um,
Yeah.
Has there you ever do you go to like various do you always make your own props and costumes, or do you ever go to like thrift stores and things like that to find some of
Uh,
your stuff? Like where do you get your materials for cosplay?
yeah. So kind of all over. I try to do it the easiest way possible. So like let's talk about the ones that I'm just doing. So, like for Killua, it was super easy. I went to Goodwill and I found shorts and a shirt, and then I ordered the turtleneck off of Amazon, and I would order the wig off Amazon. But for Gon, because he wears those like green shorts and that green
Mm-hmm.
jacket, like I'm not gonna find that in my size, and I'm probably not gonna find it in that color. So I went to Goodwill and I found like it was like a really weird, very long jacket with a shirt, but I can
Mm-hmm.
sew. So it's enough fabric for me to like deconstruct it and then sew
Oh,
everything.
okay. That's kind of
And
cool.
it was $5 and it was like $50 to order the Gon cosplay. So I'm like, I can sew it. It will be fine.
Yeah. I don't
And
think anyone judges you if your costume isn't the exact right color of red or green or whatever. I think as long as everybody can realize who you are, I think that's all that matters.
and I always change them anyway because I change them from guys to girls. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I have a little more room because I'm already changing like the design or the shirt or the skirt. So like I don't think people care about the color very much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like in your Pegasus cosplay, for example, you have a red skirt instead of his long pants. So,
Yeah, for that one, I actually went to Goodwill too, and I found like a skirt and a jacket, but the skirt was so huge and so giant. So I pretty much had to like do the same thing. So I took it apart, made it into a pattern that fit me, and then sewed it back together.
oh,
So I
okay.
do a lot of sewing, but I try to just make it the easiest way that I can do it. Like if I don't have to make something from scratch, I'm not gonna do it.
I don't blame you. I mean, it's work. It's work to make a costume. So, yeah, even a janky one. So, let's just be honest here. Like I don't have any experience sewing, but I've definitely like ripped or cut things, for costumes when I was a kid to give like a battle scarred look to it. So, like I remember like one year I was like Trunks from Dragon Ball Z with the sword on his back and all that, and I literally like cut holes in like the shirt and the jacket so I could look like I was all jacked up from a fight.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah,
What
so I was just saying is like, even when the costume isn't great, or had a lot of thought put into it, it's still work. Is what I was trying to get at.
Yeah, yeah. What I always recommend, like, if people want to get into cosplay and they don't want to like buy an $80 costume or sew anything, like, there's things called closet cosplays,
Mm-hmm.
and really you just find clothes in your closet that, like, let's say your character would wear it if they lived in 2020, like casual, and then
Mm-hmm.
you really only have to buy a wig and do the makeup and like that. I think that's like a really nice, easy way to get into cosplay. And then if you like it, then you can like start working on the harder projects. If
Yeah.
that makes
Oh,
sense.
absolutely. And sometimes you could also just be picky with the characters you choose to dress as. Like obviously, anime characters usually have a very unique or what's you know what I mean. They have a very they don't have a very realistic clothing style. They're very like model esque, or you know what I mean. But you can always pick characters like like Ben 10, for example, who it's not that hard to find brown pants and a black t-shirt and find a patch or something for the 10 symbol. You know what I mean? As an example, I mean, come on, like this is practically cosplay. All I did was paint over a watch.
Yeah, that's actually what I did. Like when I was first cosplaying, I had brown hair. Like I hadn't bleached or dyed my hair or anything then, so I would only pick characters to cosplay who had brown hair because I'm like I don't even have to buy a wig.
Oh, there you
But
go.
I think people are a lot more open now. Like, if you don't have the same body type or skin color or hair color or whatever, like, I think now people are more accepting. Whereas maybe 10 years ago, they'd be like, I cannot believe you're cosplaying that character. You're whatever. And
You're
it's
you're
not.
too tall, or you're where you don't have a six pack or whatever.
Yeah, like all the characters I've been playing are like 6 feet tall, and I'm 5'3", but I make it work.
Really, I always thought you'd be taller than me. I don't know why. Maybe you just maybe you just have a really good maybe you're really good at acting and have like a I don't know why. I literally thought you were like a really tall woman. I'm not even kidding.
That's so funny because that's what everybody says. I did a dumb poll online. I'm like, how tall do you think I am? And like only two people were like, oh, you're probably short. So
Cool.
I don't know like what it is that people just think I'm tall, but I'm not.
Maybe you just exude tall energy. There you go. I don't know why I thought it. Like maybe the Kaiba cosplays would put the thought in my mind because I think Kaiba in the TV shows is kind of small, or not kind of small, kind of tall. I knew what I meant to say.
Yeah, well, what I do, like, I kind of, if I'm cosplaying someone taller, I'll put the camera down like a little bit, so I'm like looking down, and it makes me look, I guess it makes me look a lot taller than I actually am.
Hey, that's cool. So, we're talking about your hair. Are you wearing a wig right now, or is that your naturally colored hair, or not naturally, but is that your hair, actual hair?
So this is a wig, but I did have split hair a little bit ago. So I had pink and green, and then I had pink and orange. And then I started working at my new job where I can't have colored hair.
Oh, okay.
So like when I'm home or on the weekends, I wear my wigs. But I had split hair for like a year, like really, and I just loved the look of it. And then Melanie Martinez came out with her new album, and oh, she obviously has split hair. I'm like, and it just made me love it even more.
That's
So if
cool.
I can't have split hair, then I'm gonna have split hair.
Cool. So I can see that you have a tattoo on your shoulder there. Is that the only one you have, or do you have a lot of tattoos?
um, 7, 8.
Oh,
I have
you got a handful.
yeah. So I have my cherry blossoms here. I don't know if you can see it through. I have one on my arm.
I can see a little
I
bit.
have one on my hip, one on this thigh, and 4 on my back.
Oh,
I have
cool.
David Bowie, the Pink Floyd hammers, and then like a tribute tattoo for my best friend because he passed away. So I was
Oh,
like, I had to get a tattoo for him.
oh, well, I'm sorry about your friend.
Oh, thank you. It was such a long time ago, but I don't know. You know how it is, I'm sure.
Yeah, I have a friend that passed away a few years ago too, so I know where you're coming from. So no Yu-Gi-Oh based tattoos.
No, like I obviously love Yu-Gi-Oh, but I don't know if I would want one. And
Right.
if I got one, it would probably be like Dark Magician Girl.
You're living up to
Yeah.
that weeb status, huh?
I don't know. I mean, obviously everybody loves her. Like, how can you not love her?
Right.
Actually, working on a cosplay for her, but I'm taking my time on it because it's a lot of sewing,
Yeah.
and I don't mess it up. And we also have in Florida a convention. It's called Holiday Matsuri, and
Hmm.
it's like Christmas themed. So I'm also going to be doing like a red and white Christmas version of her. But
Oh,
I just love her.
I that's so cool. So on YouTube, I the last few things that I have seen you do is pack openings, and I think you on your Harpy Sisters thing y'all mentioned about doing like talking about your favorite decks. So I was curious. I haven't seen any deck profiles yet. Of course, I haven't like combed through your channel a lot either, to be honest. But have you done any yet, and plan to do any in the future?
Um, so I haven't done any, and I don't know if I plan on doing any. Well, I stream on Twitch, so I guess I do it there. Like if I'm
Mm-hmm.
building a deck or if I'm trying out a new deck, we sit and talk about it before I play, and I'm like, this is what I have, this is what I'm doing. So I do it live, but
Oh,
I
okay.
just don't know about a video.
Oh no.
Like yeah, I don't know if it's like what I want to put on YouTube, I guess. And
Right.
also, people bully and they're like, look at this stupid girl and her stupid deck. So I would rather just do it on Twitch and not on YouTube.
Every time I hear about that, I want to go on a rant. Especially like
Yeah.
you and I are mutual friends with Zara on Twitter, and oh god, that story just fucking made my head damn near explode. I was like, and
Yeah.
then they told you to get an OnlyFans or something, and I was like, I'm gonna strangle this asshole.
Yeah, I mean, I laugh about it. I know it's actually very frustrating and unfair, but like I've just been dealing with it for so long that I just make jokes. Oh, I'm sure you saw me insulting him
Oh yeah.
back. I'm like, I'm
Oh
gonna
yeah.
stand up for her.
Oh yeah, I saw like he was all like in the whatever position. You're like the best position, and I'm just like I'm like this chick, this lady. I was like, if this was something that was happening in person and I was standing next to you, I'd have gave you a high five. I'd be like, that's right.
Yeah, that's just kind of, I guess, how I've learned to deal with it because I'm pretty good at giving insults. Obviously, I'm not mean to people who don't
Right.
deserve it, but
Like,
there's a lot of jerks online.
yeah,
And if you can insult their ego, I found that's what works the best, and they leave you alone.
yeah, because you basically just verbally assaulted them, and they're like, oh god.
But what he said to her was so horrible. Like it was out of nowhere. It was so mean and so hurtful. So I think he definitely deserved it. Or
Yeah,
she. I don't know. I don't know if it was a boy or a girl.
I,
But
yeah, it's probably a guy. The comments kind of gave him away on that one, in my opinion. But yeah, you probably knew I was gonna bring that up because you and I were both like, I'm gonna strangle this. Like,
the weird
go ahead.
the weird thing is, she told me that I don't know, she was talking to me about it another time and she was like, yeah, Tracy, that weird guy actually complimented you. And he said, well, at least she's funny. I'm like, well, that's kind of dumb. But then he commented on one of my things. Like, after I completely roasted him, he was like
Mm-hmm.
commenting on my Twitter. I'm like, this is so weird. Like, we obviously don't like you. Just
Mm-hmm.
go away.
Oh man, like that's why I refused in my video. I refused to like share his name or anything. I was like, nope, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not giving this guy the fame. You know?
Yeah, I thought he was going to change his name or his profile picture or something, but he didn't. So I don't think he cares. I think
Yeah,
that's just who he is.
yeah. He's just a scumbag.
But
Like,
that's like a normal thing though. Like that seems so extreme and it was random, but like that happens to like girls on the internet all the time, and especially in Yu-Gi-Oh. Well,
no,
there's not even like that many girls that play Yu-Gi-Oh. So you think they would want to be nice and not alienate us, but
yeah.
that's not how it goes.
I think that's really why it was so triggering for me, is because like, you know, you probably have seen my channel enough to know that I have friends that are female Yu-Gi-Oh people, so you know, and I hear the stories all the time. You know, I have one personal friend, Tori, who's the zombie queen, so shout out to her. She literally has given me horror stories about how somebody insulted her because she won the game. Like they called her like a bitch or something, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Like,
Yeah, if you lose, they make fun of you. If you win, they hate you.
yeah,
It, it's like no winning.
yeah, it's horrible. It's like I don't get it. They're like, oh, or their friends make fun of them, like you lost to a girl. I'm like, and this is literally a game of in with you know the brain is the power is the point of this thing. You know we're testing each other with our you know basically our brain in our pocketbook essentially,
Yeah,
and so there's
true.
it's literally no different. You know, there's no difference between you and me. We are on even ground in this game, and so it's just a dumb insult.
That's why I stopped playing for a little bit. And like I never play if I'm on my own. Like when I was
Mm-hmm.
younger, me and my brother would play all the time and we would go to tournaments together. And then when he stopped playing, I would stop playing. And then my little sister wanted to start playing, so she would go play Pokemon and I would play Yu-Gi-Oh. But then she stopped playing and then I just didn't play for a while. I just did like online stuff.
Yeah,
And
because
then
nobody can, you know, they don't know that you're a girl, so they can't insult you when you win.
yeah, I mean, they can kind of guess because my name is Tracy Cakes on everything, but
Right.
it's not as bad. Like, they can't message me after and be like, what is your problem?
Yeah. Like, why'd you beat me?
Yeah. And then when I met my boyfriend, like, Yu-Gi-Oh's not something you talk about,
Mhm.
like, when you're, like, dating someone.
Oh,
So
I
I didn't
know.
even
Oh, I
talk.
know.
So I was like, when is an okay time to, like, let out my weeb and my geek? And it turns out that like he and his brother would play. So then like I don't know, it was probably like 6 months into us dating. We were both like, oh wow, we both play Yu-Gi-Oh. And
Oh,
so now it's like okay I don't know. I just don't like going to places alone, like especially events, because people are weird. Even in card shops, when you want to just like go buy some packs, people are weird.
Yeah, they see
And
a they see a lady walk in the room and everybody's like, like they're looking at you like freaking Beast from the X-Men just walked in the room or something, and everyone's like, stop staring, it's creepy, guys.
yeah, that's actually kind of like why I stopped playing because I went to go and it was like a local, so I was gonna go play by myself. And so I walked in and I'm just like there signing up or whatever, but like I can feel people's eyes on me the whole entire time. And like obviously they don't say anything, they don't do anything, but it's
Mm,
still really weird to just be stared at. Like,
right.
and it was for a very long time and I was like, ugh, and I just left and I didn't even ever go back to that card shop because it was just so uncomfortable. Like you don't
Mm,
want to be uncomfortable when you're supposed to be playing a game that's fun. It's
yeah,
supposed to be fun.
yeah. And I imagine like, and in defense of us guys, I'd like to think that a lot of us, it's kind of a phase. Eventually, it just kind of like, especially when you're, at my age, I'm 30 years old. I'm unimpressed now. I've met so many female Yu-Gi-Oh players now. I'm just like, the novelty is gone for me. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
ladies.
no, it's definitely not everyone. So like whenever we do talk about it cuz then we have that podcast with the girls, like we're not talking about it's every single guy in Yu-Gi-Oh. It's just
Right.
like I don't know, 5%. But like you remember those bad experiences, I think, over all of the good ones.
Right. I also like chalk it up to like when women say all men or what X what or whatever. Like I just chalk it up to, well, they're not really talking about me. They're talking about the assholes. And it's just there's what I mean. And like let's be honest, it's not like you when you guys say, oh, you Yu-Gi-Oh player guys are all creeps. You're not really meaning all of us. It's just enough of us that it's prominent in your mind.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think the only people who are going to get offended by that are the people who are
Who are
like that.
yeah. Exactly. They're like, you're only pissed off if you're the guys that she's talking about. Oh my goodness. Oh man, I cannot tell you how many guys have like insulted me or given me a dirty look because I've been like, "Bro, are you the guy she's talking about?" And they're like, "It's like I'll get dirty looks and made fun of and stuff because I'm just like I'm not phased by it anymore." So, I'm sorry that you've had those bad experiences, though. Of course, that's the reason why we call it out and make videos about it. So maybe the Yu-Gi-Oh community goes, "Oh,
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just so normalized now, which sucks. Like, I'm sitting here and I'm laughing about it and I'm telling jokes, but like years ago, I was not. Like, I would go home and I would be like, oh my God. And I would just feel bad. I'm like, why is it like this? But now that it's been going on for so long, it's like everything just bounces right off of me, which it shouldn't be that way. And even though it's that way for me, I know other girls who are like just now getting into Yu-Gi-Oh are not
mm,
used to it at all.
yeah,
So just if people see me laughing about it, that's not how all girls handle it.
yeah."
That's just because I'm completely desensitized. Like, and you can insult me and I would be like, all right, whatever, I don't care.
Well, I imagine you probably were, based on your story, you've probably been a geek pretty much your whole life. So, if anyone can get used to being made fun of, I mean, let's face it, you and I probably have been bullied and made fun of our entire existence as children. So,
Yeah, I that's probably where it comes from. Like even in middle school and high school, I would just be bullied for whatever. Even like it even got so bad that because me and my brother weren't getting along, then like he would even bully me at school. Like we were in the same classes. Like one time we were in electronics, and that was another thing too. Like all of my I guess pastimes and hobbies were like boy things.
mhm.
So I took, well, boy things, what you would think. So I took like electrical, I was in web design. When I went to college, my major was automotive service. So like I was an automotive technician and I worked at Toyota. So like I've just been in all of these fields and hobbies, I guess, that you think girls wouldn't be in.
Mhm.
So I was weird for that. I was weird, I guess, for liking anime and whatever. And even at one point, like my brother's friends would bully me so bad, and they used to like actually throw things. I throw rocks at me and spit on me, and my
Ooh.
brother wouldn't do anything. He would be in the same class, and even the teacher, he was a stupid guy. He would not do anything, and I was like, so like anything now literally is nothing compared to that. So I just been through it all, I guess.
Well, society's got a long way to go, even in the geek community. I
I
I don't know. Maybe that's why I was so mad when I saw what happened to Zara. I just snapped because I've heard these stories like Angel of Alchemy, my friend the Zombie Queen, now Zara, now you. I could just literally just start. I'm stacking these stories and hearing such similarities, and it's like, oh God, it's very much like there's a lot of realization type of, you know what I mean, when well, obviously you're the one who experienced it firsthand. For me it's just kind of like, whoa. Now it's like, you for us guys, we kind of got to look back and go, whoa, did I do that? Did I attribute anything to that? Did I add to that in any shape, form, or fashion? And some of us did, and some of us did indirectly, or by inaction.
yeah. Yeah, it does happen a lot more, I guess, than you realize. And like I don't want anyone to feel bad for me or like pity me because
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with it now, but I feel bad for the girls who weren't prepared for it
Mm-hmm.
or who can't handle it or it still like affects them. Because I don't think people realize like even if you say one mean thing like that will stick with somebody for the rest of their lives. It's crazy.
I absolutely can. I mean, look, I'm 5'5" and a chubby guy, so believe me, I know where you're coming from. All right, I've got people who are like, call me all sorts of mean names just for things I can't control, like my height. So, I that's what I quit. I take that little thing, go, well, if I feel this bad from the mean comments about somebody, from especially people who I thought were my friends, you know, because those are the ones that really hurt. When it's a stranger on the internet, I'm like, I don't know you. You're an asshole. I take their opinion, throw it out the window. Because like when it's a stranger on the internet, you care less. But I digress. The point that I was trying to get at is like, if I feel this bad, this little bit of pain from that little comment, I can only imagine what, the pain that you ladies go through when you hear all these stupid comments that come from various people.
Yeah, it's so much that like you can make a million videos about it and then you still never even get to all of it.
Right.
And I think and it's just so normal now, which I think is part of the problem, I guess.
Well,
Um,
I would like to think that maybe we're changing it up a little bit. Like I'm starting to see even more bigger YouTubers than me after the video I made. I started seeing a bunch of other people talking about it, like Team APS, and I saw like I think I've even seen like Slim and yugioh and like Team Samurai and Triff and Nadir. I can't remember his Farfa. That's his YouTube name. I've seen multiple people on the internet of YouTubers who start calling out stuff like that. People making sexist comments at ladies in Yu-Gi-Oh. And I'd like to hope that maybe there's hope for us yet.
yeah, yeah, it definitely does help when there's at least someone, I guess, to start defending you.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just I guess about the online stuff because you
Mm-hmm.
can't really if something happens in real life like there's not going to be anyone to defend you I guess. We were actually talking about that in one of the episodes of the podcast because we're like what can Konami do,
Mm-hmm.
what because they don't really feature girl players in anything.
Mm-hmm.
And like, the judges I've ever seen at events, I have not ever seen a girl judge, like
I
ever.
I have met like two in my entire existence. And I haven't seen them at any events recently. Of course, those were a few years back when I met the two that I came across. Uh, at also at two separate events. They weren't at the same event or anything, but I haven't seen them since, since those in specific events. But you know, but you're right. Yeah, it's a very male prominent card game, which is weird to me because when you think about it, like we have all these cutesy archetypes that you would think that would be attracted to the ladies, like Madolce and that new um, that new bunny archetype. I don't know. The other
Yeah.
yes. I could not remember the name of them for the life of me. It's that those archetypes don't really appeal to me, but you would think that stereotypically speaking, we have cutesy archetypes.
Yeah, but even then, when someone finds out you play that, they're like, "Well, duh, of course you play that. You're a girl." And then, like when Konami made the Ash Blossom sleeves and the deck box, like they were so cute. And then I heard people online saying, "Well, they're only doing that to try to get girls into the game," which number one, that's not a bad thing to get girls into the game. And number two, I don't think so. Because do you know how many guys talk about Ash Blossom feet? Like, I don't think that was a girl move.
I cringe at that, but I don't have a foot fetish, so I'm just kind of like you know what I mean. Like no hate. I'm not gonna hate on anybody, but like hey, you do you, boo. But that didn't appeal to me. That's all I'm saying. So,
Yeah.
but I
I,
was. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I don't know. I was just gonna say, like, I think it would help if, like, actual, like, the TCG Konami people would do something. Because, like, that's why I became a judge, because I was like, I don't see any girl judges anywhere. And I went to go, I don't remember where I went, but I was like, oh, hey, yeah, I want to be a judge. I'm a new judge. And, like, everywhere I've gone, they've been like, no, we don't want to. But like one of the things I was applying for, they're like, "Oh, we want new judges so we can teach you the right way, I guess." So I was like, "Oh, great, I have a chance." And they're like, "Sorry, you're a new judge." I'm like, "But you said that you wanted new judges." So,
So wait a minute.
I think
You've been in the judge program for
yeah,
a.
I'm
So,
with it. Yeah.
so you're officially a judge,
Mhm.
and they won't. So you think that they're not letting you judge because you're a girl?
I don't know. I'm just saying for one reason or another, like I can't even like get to judge anything to get judge experience. But I think it would be nice, like, like Konami will hold events or live streams or whatever, and they really only have like guy casters or guys doing this. So, like, they've never once had a girl. And I think it would really help if they could like feature a girl. And I think it would just help a lot. It would be more equal in the sense of representation, but also um like I know when I watch Pokemon events, like
Mm-hmm.
there's girls all the time. They're casting, they're commenting, they're hosting, they're just there, and it just seems like such like a more welcoming, nicer environment. And I think if people saw that coming from like the TCG part of Konami, then girls would be like, "Oh, maybe I will play Yu-Gi-Oh because maybe it's not as bad as
Yeah.
everyone says it is."
Yeah. Well, I know that like in Japan they have like the Princess Cup where only that's a girls only tournament.
Yeah, but I don't. I like the idea because like you have a place, but I I I don't know how I feel about it because I think doing only something for only girls is
hmm
probably adding more to the problem because they're still segregated.
hmm
Like, and you're not together sharing in the community. You're just doing your own thing.
Well,
I
I
don't. I,
have. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say I don't know if that makes sense or not because I'm not so articulate sometimes.
I know that I have to retake videos all the time, so I know that when on the subject of our being articulate. But I was gonna say is my buddy Tori, the zombie queen, she was talking about it, and I think we mentioned it in another Yu-Gi-Oh group, and then that Yu-Gi-Oh group threw a hissy fit about it. I'm sure you've heard of Zodiac Duelist.
I've heard of him, but I'm
No,
not.
no, it's a Facebook group. It's not a
Oh, oh, oh.
yeah. It's not
Then
a yeah. It's not a person. um,
I'm.
but they're kind of infamous for being the toxic Yu-Gi-Oh group. And then I saw a bunch of like comments in there that were like really derogatory. Like one comment was all like, "Oh, then I'll just wear a wig and claim to be a woman." You know what I mean? and they were like basically they were making slights at trans women, and then they're like, well then where's our guy only Yu-Gi-Oh event? And I'm like, those are called YCSs, brother.
Yeah.
Have you been to one?
Yeah, that's a big problem too, because it's not just I don't want to say it's not just girls because trans girls are girls, but if you are trans in the Yu-Gi-Oh community, you get bullied. Um, Probably even worse. And I've even heard it from like guys like who are gay, they also get bullied. So it's like if you're not a straight guy, you're going to
Mm-hmm.
get bullied, which sucks. So I just wanted to say that like it's not just girls, it's
Yeah.
trans people, it's gay people, or
And
all. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
but you also like, and also like there's other dividing lines too, like casuals and competitives. You get bullied and I don't know, that's the thing about Yu-Gi-Oh, we need to really find a way to curb the bullying just all around, really, because it's like it's, like you get bullied for being a girl. I get, get shit for being a casual slash competitive players, because I get a little, what I mean, like I play casual decks, but I try to bring their level up to that competitive level.
Hmm.
So I ride that dividing line basically, and I get shit from both sides. I've been called a sheep and I've been called a scrub. So
I think even Team APS gets hate for being more casual and fun. Like I see people hating on them all the time because they're having fun, and
mhm.
it's so stupid. Like you should be able to do whatever you want to do in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, they'll say
That's
things. Yeah, it's a damned if you do and a damned if you don't scenario. It's ridiculous. Like Team Sam will create like, oh yeah, here's my competitive Chaos Max Dragon deck, and then everyone's all like, needle fiber, you suck, or whatever. They'll say that he'll have the one engine in the game right now that's like, that brings anything that's, basically it takes anything that's casual and just kind of puts it just above that line to competitive.
mm,
And with that combo, and I get it, the repetitiveness is annoying, but you know what are you gonna do? The cards are good.
yeah. Well, a lot of people can't afford that either. Like maybe they didn't pull it, or maybe
Right.
they can't afford it, so they're forced to find a workaround. But
Yeah.
like people judge you also for that if you don't have this card. Why don't you have this card?
No. That one's something I experience on the personal level, because my all my decks are budget, all of them. If you see an expensive card in a deck profile, I either traded for it or I got lucky and pulled it. That's the only way I got hold of it.
Yeah.
So
That's crazy that people hate on you for that because that shouldn't be at all hated on.
no, I agree. And that, yeah, exactly. There's dividing lines in our community on all sorts of things: casual, competitive, how much money you have, like, or can throw at the game. Who you are romantically involved with, or not with. The what reproductive organs you were born with. It's ridiculous. We have all these dividing lines. I don't know where Yu-Gi-Oh players get this superiority complex. I'm very baffled by it.
I don't know. Maybe, well, part of it I think is probably the people who are doing it just have zero social skills. Like they don't know how to talk to or treat human beings. Um, that or selfishness, because again, it's not everybody, but I
Mm-hmm.
think the people who do it, it's that or it's just their ego. If you do something that insults their ego, then they are very mad at you.
Oh,
That's what I have found.
makes sense. Oh man, I don't know. This is very interesting to get your perspective on these things, because I mean, like, let's face it. I feel like you probably have to deal with it a lot more than I do when it comes to the BS that is associated with the game.
Yeah, I mean, it would be impossible for me to keep track of every stupid comment or
Mm-hmm.
anything, but like I stream, people will come into live chats and say dumb things. If I'm in my other friends' streams as a chatter,
Mm-hmm.
as a viewer, they'll say dumb things. They'll say stupid things on YouTube things. They'll say dumb things on Twitter. They'll they just say dumb things all the time. So it's so impossible for me to keep track of everything. So I think that's partly why I am the way I am. I'm like, if I can ignore it, I'll ignore it.
Mm-hmm.
Or if think that it warrants me saying something back, then I will just try to say something to like get on their nerves so they just don't ever talk to me again.
Right. I think you and I are in the similar vein. Like, say what you will about, us. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if somebody says something to me, I'm like, screw you. I don't care. But if somebody was to say something to, like a friend of mine, like you saw with Zara, I'm going to be like, that's it. I'm going to roll these sleeves up. I'm about to box this mofo.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I think
sure.
you and I are in the same vein on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. We got.
But
Go ahead. I'm sorry. You're the star of the show today,
no,
so go ahead.
no,
Go
I
ahead.
was just gonna say, but at the end of the day, like even through all of that, like we still play the game
Hmm.
because we still like the game and it's still fun. We just wish like it was a little bit easier to play the game, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd like to
I,
play the game without all the bullshit.
Yeah.
That actually, fun fact. I play on Edo Pro. I don't know if that's your simulator of choice or not, but I have the chat muted on Edo Pro. Like pretty much the only time I turn it on is when I'm playing against a friend. Um,
Hmm.
like if I knew I was playing against you, I would unmute the chat. So if you wanted to say something to me, I could respond. But
Yeah.
every time I play on Edo Pro, I have the chat muted because like I get trolled whether I'm winning or losing. It's very strange.
Hmm.
Like if I'm winning, they're gonna be like, "You look sack and you suck and who even plays that card or whatever," you know. And then if I and that's like yeah, that's like if I'm winning, right? But then if I'm losing, there's these players who like I guess they feel the need to add insult to injury.
Mm.
They're like, you see, you're bad because you play dinos, and dinos are stupid. So that means you're stupid, or whatever. And I'm like, okay. So I
Yeah,
just
I don't
mute it.
know what it is about dinos, but people, if you play it and you win, they will get so mad at you. It doesn't make any sense why people have like a vendetta. I mean, I guess I can kind of see it because it's an annoying deck, but don't hate the person
Yeah.
playing the deck.
I mean, like, and I get the frustration a little bit. Like, the boss monster being able to hit everything. Like, yeah, that's annoying. But I
Hmm.
feel like it's no more, it's no more, what do you call it, annoying than, like, Lightning Storm.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. That's. I guess I might have been lucky because I haven't had anyone do that to me on EDO Pro. Like I'll play that. Like let's say I'm learning a new deck, so I'll do test hands and play on EDO Pro just while I'm learning, and then I'll go to Dueling Book.
mm-hmm,
But I haven't had anyone be mean to me, and I leave the chat on. Like the other day, they were about to destroy me, and they had like Beat Cop from the Underworld. I'm like, oh my god, please kill me with Beat Cop. It would be an honor. So I just kind of joke around and say stupid things. So maybe that's why I don't get people aren't mean to me, but
yeah, because they're
just
like,
come
yeah, because
oh,
across
they're
as
like,
Tracy's
oh,
just
haters.
making
Tracy's just
jokes.
making jokes.
Yeah, but who knows? Now that I say that, it's probably gonna happen. So.
Well, I hope not.
Well, I
I
hope
hope
not.
not.
I hope not.
I like to
I
think that.
like to think that.
I'm sorry. I think there's
Oh,
an
sorry, I think
echo.
there's an echo.
For me,
For like every time I talk, there's it sounds like there's an echo. I'm not sure. I see if I stand back if that helps. But I was gonna say is like I would like to think that everybody would be nice to you because especially if they're from my audience, be nice to Tracy because if I find out otherwise, I'll turn you into a Karibo. But you are a really friendly person. Can I just say that I appreciate that about you?
well, thanks. I feel like I'm not. I feel like I just feel like I'm not. But if you say so, then thanks.
Well, I mean, you've been a pleasure to talk to this whole time for me. So, um, well, I'm gonna bring this back to this real quick question is because I was a little bit curious. Um, there was that guy who like he told you to get an OnlyFans or whatever. So I was curious. You don't obviously do that kind of content, but I was like, how do you feel about that kind of content? I was curious.
Okay. So
So
this is
hold on,
funny.
before you answer, the reason I'm asking is because I wanted to know what level of insult that was, kind of. So now you can answer. That's what.
Uh, so I think no matter what my answer is, that's insulting
Mhm.
for what if he had said that to anybody. But I actually do have an OnlyFans, but I don't ever post on my Yu-Gi-Oh because I feel like people would judge me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they will. I know they will judge me if I'm like have that as part of my Yu-Gi-Oh content. So I actually have like a secret side everything for that. Like no one even on my Twitter or really my Discord knows about it.
Oh, okay.
So I think people who do OnlyFans, I don't see any problem with it. Like it's their body, it's their choice. Um, I that's pretty much how I feel. I know a lot of people don't. I think I don't know. They hate it, but I think it's because they're maybe it's jealous because they're like, "Wow, I can't do that, so I'm gonna hate on the people
What?
who are doing it."
Hey,
I
hold
guess.
on. We could have an OnlyFans. Nobody would want my OnlyFans, but I could make one.
Yeah, well, anyone can make one if you want to make one, but I think like the people who just think that they can't
Yeah.
just get jealous,
Oh, yeah,
and they,
yeah.
I
I
think they
wasn't
think
trying to
it's
invalidate what you're saying. I was just trying to add an element of humor to the conversation.
no, no, you're good. Well, I wanted to. Well, I didn't want to make it seem like, oh, you can't have an OnlyFans. Anyone can have an
Wait.
OnlyFans if that's what you want.
Oh, yeah. Actually, fun fact about OnlyFans is they're trying to expand to also like vanilla content too. So it's like it basically would just be like Patreon if I had one.
hmm
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people like will use OnlyFans for that too, like for safe for work content, I guess. I've seen people do it for like art commissions,
Mm-hmm.
for cooking things, for gym like workouts. So there are people who do OnlyFans for that, but it just has such a connotation of sex workers
Mm-hmm.
because like that's really most of what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But you can actually have it in OnlyFans for whatever. And I think it's better
Yeah.
than Patreon because you don't have to do the tiers. There's just like the one price, and then if you want to purchase extra content, you can. So that's why I kind of like it better than Patreon, I think.
Oh, that's kind of cool actually. I didn't think of it that way. Like I knew that you could do vanilla content on OnlyFans, but I didn't really know how the pricing works because I have friends that do this stuff, but I don't really know much about it because it's not an avenue I've explored yet. So
hmm
because like I only have like 900 subs. I'm not really in my mind I'm not in the range to like start trying to make money off of this yet. So
hmm
but that's good to know. So thank you for educating me. I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
yeah. I just think it's super cool because let's say your price is 4.99.
Hmm.
You can even make it free, but let's say your price is 4.99 to sub, and then everybody gets all that content. But let's say you post I don't know, something super special, secret Yu-Gi-Oh, then you can post that
Hmm.
and you can like make an additional, be like, if you want to see this, then pay like, I don't know, 4.99 more. And then they'll only see that. So they're only paying for the extra content they want to see. And you can also send out like mass messages and say unlock this for 9.99. And if they want it, they can, and if not, they can just ignore it.
Oh,
So I
okay.
think that's really cool.
Ah, that is interesting. I feel like I'm getting educated on all sorts of things. I didn't even know. And like one of the people I recently interviewed was somebody who was like that was their thing was OnlyFans and TikTok. So it's just but of course sometimes this series is very off the cuff. So sometimes my questions will come off and I won't like like they're just as I think of them they're coming off. You know what I mean? So sometimes I just don't think to ask. So
Yeah.
but thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that your honesty with that, and I like that you're open about it.
Yeah, that if there's anything that I am, it's I guess I'm open. Like I really don't I'm sure you can tell I don't get offended by anything. But so I'll answer any questions, I'll tell the truth cuz why? Why? There's no point in lying, I guess.
Yeah. Well, Tracy, I think that I'm gonna end it off with like one or two more questions, and then and then I'll let you get on to your day because I'm pretty sure you have a hurricane to brave.
Yeah, we have water and food. Well, I told you it actually slowed down a lot. It was
Oh, okay.
supposed to be here like right now, but
Hmm.
it slowed down, so it's not gonna hit now until like tomorrow at 8, which
Oh,
is
okay.
fine because I'm hoping that means I don't have to go to work. So we'll.
You're like 3 day weekend, 3 day weekend, 3 day weekend. I was gonna say is like, so have you been experiencing a little bit of like I want to say like frustration with Yu-Gi-Oh in the lack of events, since
I wouldn't say frustration because I 100% understand it,
Mhm,
but I guess I know why some people are. Like I was gonna go to YCS Charlotte,
mhm,
and we had our hotel, we had our ticket, our plane tickets, and they canceled it like a week before.
mhm,
So it was frustrating in the sense of I was like, oh my god, am I gonna get my refunds? But
mhm.
not in the sense of, oh my god, I'm so selfish. I want to go to an event in a pandemic.
Yeah.
Uh, and
I wear a mask like just to go to the grocery store, and I one of the members of my household is immunocompromised, so I don't want to risk it personally.
Yeah, so I completely get it because I have two autoimmune diseases,
Mhm,
and I'm on the medicine I take for them lowers my immune system. So like I get it. Like cancel events for as long as they need to. Because really topping at an event is not more important than health of hundreds and thousands of people. But I don't think that people realize that. They're just like, I want to go. All these new
mhm.
cards came out. I want to go. But it's like, no, just calm down. It'll be fine.
Oh yeah. And plus, like, Yu-Gi-Oh's got all these simulators, so it's not like none of us can play Yu-Gi-Oh. It's just, and everybody could still purchase the cards and just, make deck profiles or whatever, or be prepared for when we can go back to events.
hmm
But the reason I asked you is because, like, I various other people have come on across this. I'm sorry, I've got an itchy nose over here. Perks of having a mustache, guys. Yeah. I was gonna say is like I've heard multiple people be frustrated that they can't go. Like they're like you and I, where they're not mad that they can't, because they can't. You go, like what I mean. Like they're not upset about it and they act like, oh, I can't play Yu-Gi-Oh. They're just frustrated because they're like, the pandemic is the frustrating situation. Like I don't think
Yeah.
anyone blames Konami for not having events.
hmm Yeah. I Yeah, I think most people are understanding. I think maybe part of it too is that they just miss playing with people because like you kind of need some kind of social interaction to maintain your mental health. And a lot of people aren't like interacting really with anybody but online. So part of it probably is too they just want to like go and see their friends again and do people and go look at the vendors who have cards that are priced way too high. But any.
I completely agree with that last part. Oh man. I don't know. It's just I was just curious because and plus like I always like to ask people who are in a different region, especially because like you're in the danger zone. You and I both are technically because I think my state is like right behind yours in COVID cases. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we actually have a place local. It's not really locals, but it's like an hour away. So me and been thinking about going to that, but I'm just not ready to yet
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know how they are. Like I see some stores they don't even care if you wear a mask or not. So we don't know like what the situation is. Like obviously we can be, but I don't. So we haven't really wanted to risk that yet, I guess.
Okay. Well, guys, I'm getting a sign of poor connection on my end. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna everybody go subscribe to Tracy here. I'm gonna have Tracy Cakes on Yu-Gi-Oh is on YouTube, right?
Yep, Tracy Cake's everywhere. Yep.
All right. I'm gonna put that in the comments below. Make sure you go subscribe to her. She's awesome. She's super friendly, and she made my day. So make sure that you go check her out, guys.
Well,
And we'll
thank you so much for having me. It was so
absolutely you're welcome to be on here again if you would like to be.
okay, cool.
Awesome. So and we will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.